I am not here to discuss privacy.
Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm awesome. No, you're not, dude. Don't lie.
Let's start with the story of how this channel even came about. So, I remember I'd had enough, I'd almost given up, and I had been in victim mentality for a very long time. Until one day I went, you know what? Nobody's coming to save me, so I might as well save me. And during this time, I was also really, really lonely. And I was past the phase where I just wanted to be with people for the sake of company. I wanted to attract aligned friends and aligned people and basically truly, truly be understood for who I was at my core. And so I had to venture out, learn to strike random conversations with people, read books like The Art of People to learn how to do this, post messages in online communities, and take the first step. It was scary, yes, but there was no question of not doing it. I had to, or I would not have been happy. Like there was no other way about it. But now, in the age of AI, it's so easy. Talk to an AI, it will have some meaningful conversations with you, it will give you things to think about, and you basically don't have to put in much effort. You don't have to go through the phase of talking to random people on the street, taking your chances, taking risks. You don't have to do any of this. And you know what? Why would we? Why would we? Why would anyone do this when we have AI now? Because humans, we are wired for comfort, not happiness. Why would we want to get out of our comfort zones, meet conflicting opinions, be potentially hurt when we have the option of not doing it and still getting what we want? But what we want is the short term thing. We're losing out on a long term gain. And what AI has done is just make it even more hidden than it was earlier. Like, even when there was no AI, you remember those friend groups that used to be formed in school and college, and I guess even in work settings? And then once somebody was in a group, it was kind of hard to get out of that group and also for other people to approach that group. And it's like, why would you? You have found your comfort. It's only the first day when you're kind of scared of, oh, who you'll be friends with, will you be able to find a group, and so on and so forth. But after that group is found, most people don't want to meet new people. They don't want to meet conflicting opinions, which may actually grow them. But even in that friend group, you would have fights. Nobody was this perfect, ideal fantasy you had. But guess what? Now you have someone who is kind of that perfect ideal fantasy. Think about it. AI agrees with almost everything you say. It gives you those long replies which makes you feel heard or understood or listened to, even if that's not an actual human and you know it. And because of that, there is no true connection. It is through those fights that real connections are formed. It is through those fights that you see how strong your bonds are. I'll give an example. So there was this guy I liked, and we had a huge fight. And I was kind of irrational because, well, I hadn't seen him in a very, very long time. And because of that, one day I sent him a very long, disrespectful text. And then when he read it, for him, it was just out of the blue. He was like, what the hell? And he replied to it, and then I got very, very scared and anxious. And then I apologized to him continuously, saying, I'm sorry my attachment style came up. I'm sorry I tend to act this way when this happens. I'm so sorry. I totally understand if you don't want to be friends or whatever. But please at least listen to me. And, I was quite disrespectful. But this guy listened to me. He understood. He forgave me and he gave me another chance. And I think that's when I started liking him. It was through going through that fight together that we actually became closer. It was when, despite my flaws, he accepted me that I truly felt understood, loved, and cared for. And this is also when I started working on my attachment styles more. So, conflict, while not fun, is important. It is important. It's not comfortable, it's not this short term gain, but it is what we truly need in the long run. It is what forms true connections. Just think about it. Let's say you've worked hard for years on something, and when you finally get it, you're so happy. As opposed to, had you just asked for something and got it directly, you would not have been that happy. And the reason is, we feel happier when we work harder for something. We feel we have earned it. It's the feeling of it. AI can give you that thing in seconds, that bond in seconds. It's this perfect, ideal fantasy person you have. The fantasy that we all learn to grow out of as we get older and more realistic. We learn to accept people for both their good sides and their bad sides. But AI does not understand the concept of opportunity costs. So, an opportunity cost is basically what you give up in order to get something. It is the next best alternative. What you have now, you have given up something for it. And if you had not gone for this thing, you would have probably gone for the second best thing. And how this practically manifests is, well, once I was taking the help of AI to design a site, okay, and then I gave all my ideas, and then it started to make all of them, better than what they were, or taking my best ideas and putting them all together. However, when I actually drew it and made a picture of it, I realized, wait, all my best elements are competing for attention here. They're not coming in sync. They're competing for attention. But how is it that we as humans naturally tend to not always pick the best thing? Sometimes we have high energy, so we pick the best thing. The other things are normal, and somehow it all just sinks, It all just sinks. There are things like this that AI does not understand. Here is another example. I put a joke in AI and I tend to have a different kind of sense of humor. Like, I don't feel that I have found anyone in real life who gets my sense of humor. But obviously, AI took my humor into its system and then it made jokes like that. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. But you know what happened after 3 days? That humor started seeming boring. I got bored of my own humor. And that's because in literally every single conversation we've had, AI would bring up that same humor because I had unintentionally trained it to do that. But humans aren't like that. Humans don't always give smart responses, they don't always have the capability. They do it once in a while, which is what makes it interesting. We have good bonds only once in a while, which is what makes it interesting, which is what makes us value depth. AI cannot be a replacement for human connection. And this is what I see. People don't even make an effort to talk to other people. Earlier, when I was at home or I would not have real life friends, I would, at the very least, go in online communities and send a message. But I noticed only a few months back that I had completely stopped being active in online communities I used to really like. I had stopped sending random messages there for the hell of it because all those messages were going to AI. I would ask for advice in all these Discord servers or groups sometimes. I had stopped doing that, like advice for friendship problems or school problems or stuff like that. And I had stopped doing that because I had a clear cut, better answer now, which was AI. Would give me the perfect answer in one go. Whereas if I posted it in a Discord server, I would get different answers from like three, four people, and then I would see what best fits my situation. But what this also did was to kill my social connection and not see other people's perspectives. I mean, even socials were made to bring people closer, but they actually ended up pushing people far apart. But AI just, hides this even more. And the thing is, it feeds into what we truly crave, which is validation, and the thing we naturally give into in the short term, that is comfort and ease. But it's not a substitute for the long term. Another aspect that is really connected to one's mental health is creativity. Creativity is often a great release. But now, with these new LLMs, especially those used in creative fields like Claude, especially, it's even better than ChatGPT. I think people have stopped doing creative stuff for the hell of doing creative stuff. And this really pisses me off. And also, when you use LLMs during your creative project, just know that that risk taking ability that you needed earlier might not be there. Look, this doesn't apply for everyone, but at least for me, so I write articles. And if you read my Substack and my articles, they're written in a very conversational tone, but it's also a mix of academic tone. So this is kind of a little unconventional, like not usual, okay? But I write this way on purpose. I sometimes tend to write unstructured on purpose because that's how people think. People don't think in structured ways, and I want to show my thinking process on my articles. However, if I put the same article into Claude and ask it for basic corrections, it will always point out this thing that you can make your article better through this. But what is better? The better is the standard, it's the normal, it's what most people do. But I'm like, no, I'm trying to do that on purpose. So it's a risk I take, right? But what Claude does is, because it's so used to like pattern matching, if anything deviates from the pattern, it will make you regress towards the pattern. Now, this is even common in people. I mean, even people do this. And actually, a lot of the points that I said in this video can extend to just like people in general or other things in general, that they also tend to drift you towards the comfortable aspect of things. However, AI is just a very tempting add on top of it, is what I'm trying to say. So please, 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 I request you stop using AI for mental health problems. Listen, I get it. When you feel that nobody understands you, nobody gets me, I don't know who to go to, it's very easy to take the safe path. But that is when you contact your friends, okay? Contact your friends. What they say may hurt, or actually, it may actually bring you closer to them. Some of the best friendships I formed were when I was really struggling mentally, and then I confided in somebody in the first place, and they responded really nicely. And I think that's how the friendship formed. But if you don't take that risk in the first place, you will not be indulging in genuine connections. So please stop relying on AI for mental health issues. I'm not someone who says that you should stop using AI entirely. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But I do say that at least for mental health, please stop using AI. I say this especially because I see AI being used a lot in the self development community, and I have tried using it, and I feel that it does not help you in that way. Okay, it creates a very perfect ideal in your head, and that's not how things are. Oftentimes, things require acceptance for the circumstances. Anyways, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and also, I have written an entire article on how AI isn't taking over creativity, it's reinventing it. So that article is literally in favor of AI through this critical lens that you might have seen in this video, but better. So if you're interested, write the word article in the comments down below and I'll send you my article. Anyways, thank you for your time, thanks for watching, and see you in the next week. Bye.